US presidential elections and India. As is expected, US presidential elections, which are being held on 3rd of November this year, have drawn much interest across the world, and so is it the case with India. As the world's largest economy, a military superpower, so to say, having institutional advantages in many spheres, the United States has a large influence in almost all countries across the world. As a democracy, it has been an icon for many countries, including India. Today, the supremacy of the United States is being challenged by a rising superpower, China, under a dominant authoritarian leadership of President Xi Jinping. Under the circumstances, there is much interest in how the United States presidential elections are shaping up, particularly the two candidates, President Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden, have been now making waves in many spheres. As far as India is concerned, so far, these elections have drawn little attention, primarily because it is believed in India that there is a bipartisan support to furthering of indo-US partnership in the years ahead. Many have said that indo-US strategic partnership is one of the most important for the 21st century, and there should be no doubts about that. This particularly is emphasized in the light of present developments in India-China relations, with the border standoff ongoing in eastern Ladakh. The importance of United States and India strategic partnership, not only for New Delhi but across the region, assumes importance. Under the circumstances, it is believed by many observers in India that whosoever wins the presidential elections in the United States, the policy towards India is likely to be uniform. And this is also evident from some of the statements which have been made by US President Donald Trump, not only now, but over his first presidential tenure for the last almost 4 years now, and most recently by Democrat nominee, former Vice President Mr. Joe Biden. That gives us a degree of assurance that there will be uniformity in the formulation of policies towards India to further build on the strategic engagement. Having said that, there could be certain nuances, and those nuances would come primarily in the political domain. The political support which India is getting in various international forums is of course likely to continue. The commitment the United States has made for India gaining a permanent membership of the United Nations Security Council is likely to be sustained by both the candidates, but there could be differences in the approach to certain key issues such as Jammu and Kashmir, freedom of speech, etc., etc. Here, one would say that the former Vice President, Mr. Joe Biden, has taken a more strident stand, unlike President Donald Trump, who has virtually ignored or not commented on the major developments in Jammu and Kashmir and other parts of India in the last 2 years or so. Finally, of course, as far as the defense relations of India and the United States are concerned, consistent support to India's capability development, for India's preemption in the Indo-Pacific per se, is likely to be one of the core factors in the relationships between India and the US under the US presidency, whosoever is the winner hereafter. At the same time, we have to understand the dynamics of the United States politics towards foreign policy, where the Congress has a major role to play. And here, as it appears, the Democrats are likely to gain a majority in the Senate as well as the US Congress, and under those circumstances, the political factors which I talked about previously are going to gain salience under a Joe Biden presidency. So these are the small nuances, but on the whole, one would say that the US presidents have been completely supportive of furthering relations with India, and we are quite hopeful that the same trajectory is likely to continue. Thank you for listening.